pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, town business. Everybody review the minutes.
Yes, I make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Awesome. Partial report.
Yes. So the batteries were ordered for the chargers. They've been installed, so one of them does not have power steering, the light bar. The other one, needs an alignment. Ryan from County Garage, all their cars are basically out, so he's working on cars nonstop, so he hasn't got back with me yet. Reached out to Kiesler's. They just got back with me today, so they're gonna give me multiple quotes on guns.
Hey, Jack.
Go ahead. Wrote a ordinance violation. We had a problem with it popping up in Odyssey, so we're doing trial and error right now. I think it's figured out now. I contacted the ECWS on my side and they said they found a flag in it and fixed it, so.
Okay.
Then we had a complaint in Heritage Springs, figured out the online complaint. The people were new to the neighborhood, so they just moved their vehicle pretty much immediately. On Clark and Second Street, their couch was moved off the road and all their trash. We ordered the patches for the department. I also did Shop with a Cop, took some kids shotgun with New Albany Police Department and Floyd County.
Awesome.
We also have another one planned for the 13,000 quarter.
But it's for Floyd County,
Yeah.
which is at the Corden.
Yeah. So. We had on call wise, we didn't have really anything that crazy. We did have a domestic, in Greenville involved, guns, a knife and a crossbow, but everyone ended up being safe. No one got injured, so.
That's always plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there alone for a little bit, I was like. So another thing, Heather got with me about, people running the stop sign right there, so I've been sitting there, unless I get a call or something, just being seen there and watching people hit their brakes really hard. And that's all I have, so.
Awesome. I may talk to the HOA president too on, I guess, a couple of days ago after I called and talked to the person that did the complaint and then Andy and then, or sorry, Dave, and then Dave let me know what went on. So I called the HOA president just to say, hey, like, just to fill in.
Yeah, well. Oh, yeah, one of them.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, one of the neighbors came out while I was doing that and she's like, oh, I thought I was getting a ticket. She's like, I just parked it here, so she moved her car, but she told me the neighbors had just moved in, so.
Okay. Cool. Right. We're good. All right. Moving on to the finances.
All right over there?
Yeah. We're all stuck together.
Thing for elsewhere finance, there's.
Yeah, you need to, that reconciling. I didn't have time to send it to everybody because I didn't get it done until I was got here tonight.
Signature's getting worse. As it goes.
The only one that's off is the operating, that it just never does quite click right.
Yeah, it's the, the checks that come in and the bills.
Yeah.
Right, I'll make the motion to approve the reconciliation.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
She'll come by one day. She's never been, she hasn't been there for a while.
Right.
I'm done.
Right, committee reports. I don't have anything, only just those letters that we got. Emergency services.
I don't have anything other than, Jordan, I owe you the handbook. I have found a couple additional things I need to make adjustments to. I'm gonna sit down tonight and hammer that thing out because I may be leaving shortly, like on short notice. So, I'll get that to the rest of the council and Heather for one last look, and then we'll get it to you here in the next 2 days or so.
Streets and roads.
I got with NDOT. There was a signpost in front of the dollar store. I don't know if you guys remember, it was all bent up and mangled. They came and removed that finally. I asked them about the CCMG grant because they said we need an ordinance to have you as the signer. And we got together and said, state statute says
Yeah.
that he is the signer.
Yeah.
And so we don't need a separate ordinance for that. And so our coordinator got with the director of CCMG, and as is typical of CCMG, they said, well, we have a state statute that says we can do basically whatever we want. So we're gonna acquire all the towns to write an ordinance, so you should expect a request to have an ordinance in place for the president to sign CCMG documents.
So CCMG can issue
They can,
ordinances that trump state statute?
Well,
they can do regulations, but it doesn't trump state statute. The state
Right.
statute specifically says the president of the board may sign them.
Yeah, like, so if we wrote an ordinance, it would say, the state statute says the president of the board can sign it.
But
We
no,
concur.
no skin off my nose. They're gonna write
Whatever,
an
we're right to the same thing, yeah.
ordinance for.
So-
I mean, they got the money, so if you want the money, you do what they want you to do, right?
So anyway, in typical fashion, that's,
Sense.
I
Does it
spoke,
need to be very specific that the, can decide any community crossing matching grant documents or?
I think just say whatever the president can sign on his own. Whatever the state statute is, you know, like, basically says,
It's
The mayor
ministerial,
of the
there's supposed to
town.
be a vote, but, okay, I'll look at it, I'll figure it out.
I spoke with Jordan. He seems to be on the mend and he's had interest in continuing with mowing services, as well as pothole filling in the future. So just wanted to say that, so
Cool.
we don't have to,
Better,
hopefully that
Okay.
works out and we don't have to do a lot of,
read the latest couple posts, so it's good.
and that's it for me.
Something, thank you. Snow removal, Skip isn't here, but, we made it through our first snow, which I didn't even receive any complaints, so that's good. And then, we had a little snow today, but it didn't really do much to that, so. That's all I know there. Property cleanup, I have anything?
He took care of it all.
Special projects, anything?
The only thing we're continuously working on the Roscoe Millers market. Matt's working on the 401(c)(3). So those are the two things that we got going.
Heather?
Got a couple of things, so police department handbook, I've looked over, got Dave some just pretty much continuity suggestions. So I know he's working on that. The perf, I emailed you guys what I found out about the perf and that there's a, MPERS has to set the rate for what we're required to, so hopefully that was helpful. The
Yeah.
Cheshire matter, the one that you had me file the zoning, complaint about, went to the BZA. Of course, they issued an order saying that, yeah, you're not getting a variance, you have to be 4 foot. He's now filed a petition and a motion to stay enforcement. It has to be filed against the BZA, not the town. So we, of course, talked a little bit about it between meetings, and Christy Fox, per our contract with the county, is gonna handle that and just bill the town for whatever she's doing. She did file a motion to extend the time. We've had a lot of discussion just about strategy because, motion to stay in enforcement, you have to file a bond. There's no bond filed. He didn't file it in the correct court. There's all kinds of issues. He served us via certified mail, but didn't follow the statutory who he's got to serve. The town's not being sued, the BZA. I haven't filed an appearance in that matter at this point in time because I don't represent the BZA and we don't need to intervene at this point because the county is representing us for the interlocal. So it's sort of in a weird holding pattern right now, but I've got my eye on it. I met with actually Christy today about various other things we have going on because things are a little bit crazy in the county right now. I'm sure, as you know, if you've heard about Mr. Fox. The only other thing is Jordan mentioned it. We're sort of working through, for a long time, we've had the traffic ordinance done since 2022, 23, trying to get it. So, we're in the court system. We go just like the city of New Albany does. Jordan's been very great about working with me, working with the clerk. We're all trying to work together to figure out how this works. He wrote his first ticket. There was some issue on Insights End that he's fixed it now. It's gonna be in. We just have a couple little, I feel confident that between Jordan and I, we'll get it fixed. But he's done a really good job of getting that off the ground so that maybe we can bring in a little bit of extra for these town roads and streets. And he has been, pulling people over. I've seen him sitting a couple times in the apartment, so he's doing a good job. And I just feel confident. I'm very excited after 3 years to see this hard work come to fruition of something that we needed in the town. So I'm very proud of it. I want to tell you, I'm very proud of Jordan and we've worked very well together. He answers my phone call anytime I call. I don't have to worry about if he's going to call me back. So that's really what's going on, all that's going on, I think, on the town side. And then I'll get that ordinance. I'll look at statutes and see what we can get to cover as broad as we can, but to make CCMG happy.
Right, we have no old business, new business, or ordinance.
Actually, I've got something in the new
Okay.
business.
Okay.
The town has been using the water company's credit card. I'd like to get a credit card for the town,
Okay.
for the police department and such.
Okay.
We have to sign off saying that 3,000, 5,000, whatever, so that then I can get to the bank and get a new card for the town instead of the water operating. We've never had one for town. We've always used theirs. And it's really inconvenient if he's out on the road.
No, I think that makes sense. So, I mean,
The
I wouldn't think that it would be,
emotion and accepting and then just be in the minutes.
what,
3,000 or 5,000. The one he's got's 5,000, but that seems a little high for the town.
I mean, I wouldn't say any more than 3,000 because he still has to get everything appropriated before he really spends
Right.
it, unless it's like an emergency.
I mean, if he's got training or something, he can go ahead and put it on the card because
Yeah.
sometimes they make him do the card to,
Yeah,
pay for training. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think anything that we spend that's over that, somebody will invoice us for it.
yeah,
I mean, he has to bring receipts in to attach to the credit card bill before we can pay him. So everything you do,
so I'll make a motion to approve a credit card for the town. So $3,000 credit limit.
Second.
All fair side.
Aye.
Like Jack said, if you have questions about the reimbursements, give it Jack, but it has to have all of the.
you have to have a receipt on everything. You can't.
I was telling everybody, just kind of err on the side of caution and all.
Definitely.
One of the people is say, hey, I really need this, you good? So then we can usually take it from there. It's usually not a problem, so. All right, anything else for town business? I
I'll
think
make a motion to adjourn.
a second. All fair say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Some adjustments.
Mr. Grinch.
Right. Last month, we worked on getting a line from the 1970s retired and giving people their own individual taps. I've also shown Dale from these parts that we're dealing with on some of these old lines. So if you look in like this end, you can see like mineral buildup and that causes flow restrictions. And of course, like the outside of the pipe, just with the galvanized material back in the day, is just failing. It'll get holes in
Is
it.
that in the people's house? Like,
Yeah, these are in the yard going to their homes. This is with some of our service line material that we've
Other
retired.
floor meters.
Yeah. Now that we've removed, abandoned, and they have new service lines off the actual water main instead of like its own separate line to the side, so.
That is great.
So yeah, that's just sediment, mineral that builds up in there, restricts flow, it doesn't taste good, cause. Oh, mineral.
Think about it. If you don't.
Figured I'd show you all, it's kinda neat.
Yeah, that is.
Those are from.
That'd be a good show and tell. Take up to the kids.
Yep, and then back then, I mean, they used like just any kind of galvanized pipe or whatever they could really find to put in the ground. Like some of this is like lead solder probably. No, it's not good, so we get that out of the ground, so it's
So,
kinda neat.
What prompted you all to go take those out? Just leak,
Uh,
fix some leaks and stuff?
Yeah, so it started leaking around one of the service connections on this T and started leaking down here. And instead of trying to just repair something like that, we had the opportunity to just get rid of it, so.
Yeah.
Just took it out and ran new lines, so that was pretty neat to do. Hopefully those customers have better flow
I
too.
bet they will.
And then we've gotten a lot of meters installed. Windance only has maybe 8 more meters to put in, so that whole neighborhood got done this
Oh,
past
wow.
month, so
That's nice work.
a lot of meters changed out in there. We started doing inventory on materials, so we know what to order at the beginning of the year, and then we've been working on getting locates ready for mainstream. I've called in all of Heritage to do the boring and stuff in there, so they're getting prepared, I guess, going in there, seeing where the lines are and just kind of doing their homework ahead of time. With that being said, with the contract we have with them, is mainstream and like, are they the ones supposed to be doing it? Are they allowed to subcontract it to somebody else?
There'll be some.
Oh, they're going to, yeah.
Subcontract? Okay. I didn't know if it was like Clover Creek. I know Mainstream used their own, their own company to do it, but it looks like they're gonna subcontract out. So hopefully they have the same standards as what they promised.
I hope so.
Well, they're a contractor of Mainstream, so they've got to live up to Mainstream's agreement, so.
Um,
I would imagine Mainstream will have like one of their supervisors probably run around and just
We're just sitting there.
make sure things are on the up and up, you know?
Yeah.
Knowing the watchful eyes that are gonna be, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a little bit more oversight. So I know that they've been in there, running.
I would just say don't sit on any issues. If there's an issue, bring it to me or to Greg like right away.
Yeah,
Right.
So that it can be addressed, because I don't want them to think we're gonna be complacent.
and as,
I'm very hopeful. I don't want anybody to think I'm not hopeful. I'm hopeful that they'll do better job than they did the first time, but
I did post something on
Gotta watch.
on the neighborhood Facebook page, you all know that, but, about it and just, encouraging people to keep a very close eye. That there wasn't really anything we could do to stop them per se,
Right.
so,
Might be, they said that they could be in there like this week or maybe even possibly next week. I'm not sure. For me, I would think
well, their
maybe
issue,
doing work in there by January with Christmas and stuff being right around the corner.
well, and the issue there is, I mean, that neighborhood has a lot of Christmas lights up. So you're gonna go in and, you're gonna be hitting people's Christmas lights and it's not a good look.
Not a good time to start. So,
Yeah, that's one
I
way
feel-
around the fescue though.
but I'm very confident that we did everything we could to minimize and to
Yes.
do what we could to stop it. We were not able to stop it, but I think you guys did a good job of coming to terms that everybody can.
The last
Live
ones
with.
they did here in town, everything was underground. You never even seen them there. I mean, they just bored everything.
That's what they do.
and, our water loss is still right around 16% this past month. Then with the appraisal companies, getting that, quarter acre or less appraised, that's something that we all want to move
Yeah.
forward with.
Yeah, I drafted the resolution. You guys should.
It'll be $650 to find out that value,
How much?
$650 total, to find out that value.
So according to the statute, we have to express an interest in a specified property and then appoint 2 appraisers. So I drafted a resolution today that just says, what's the TR number? What's the resolution number?
We'll have to go look.
Okay, it just
I
says
think it's
that,
19. Don't know me to it.
it says that you guys are interested and intends to purchase a portion of the property located at 5495 Feathering Gill Road that pursuant to Indiana Code
Yeah.
Oh, WR,
It-
water resolution. It's not an
Yeah.
ordinance, it's a resolution. WWR,
But
sorry.
it's the same number sequence,
Okay.
So you guys, as purchasing agent for the town, are appointing Roy Sherrill of A1 Appraisal and Donald Basham of Ohio Valley Appraisal to appraise the fair market value of the land. They're supposed to do that within 30 days. And then we'll see what we get back.
What is it?
It's
12.
12.
Well, you wasn't much off.
That would be 2025 WR 12, a resolution regarding interest of purchasing land and appointing appraisers pursuant to Indiana Code at 36-1-10.5.5, dash 5, sorry.
and make a motion based on in the 2025 WR-12.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So.
And I can get that done next week. Both, with both companies, so,
Let me know if you need anything else on that, Stephen.
thank you.
So we're good. That's cost, that's hiring them and everything. Like, we're good. Okay.
One company was 300 and one was 350.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they'll be here next week, and I think, getting that price is just super important as far as moving forward with this gentleman. I mean, he's willing to work with us now, but if
Yeah.
they're like, hey, we can only come in at 28, I might just say, no, thanks.
Sure, he understands the process.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
and I think if we do that, then, we'll have to figure something out from there. I mean, so we'll see.
And the only thing that's had, kind of a side note, I guess, but I'd like to, kind of reevaluate and look at like where we're going as far as like a capital improvement plan. So just setting money aside in the budget to see what needs the most attention in the next 5 years and how we move forward and working on that. So with that being said, might, get together and consider, will we ever consider implementing any of the raises, from Baker Tilly? Or would we want to do a new, rate study with Cron, to get ready for like maybe a 2027 rate increase to make sure we can get these capital improvements done?
I think it's very, and this is just my opinion, is, and thank you for bringing that up. I mean, we have, with all the rising cost of everything across the board, and knowing how old our infrastructure is, along with the water tower and growth and all that, I think it is a good idea for us, I don't know what the standard is, how often should you have rate studies done? But we need to stay on top of it instead of, it's much easier on the palate to take a small rate increase instead of being hit with some big 40% rate increase, so.
All right, and I know that, Ron had mentioned that the study we had done, used data from 2021. So unfortunately, there's not like a cost savings with them, like they can't go back and use a lot of that data.
Yeah.
And their cost would be $7,000 to $9,000 to do a rate study, something to think about for 20.
We already know what they're gonna say. They put comparisons to Winslow, who has the highest rate in southern Indiana. And they said, you should do this. And it's like.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
What's the other option? Who else does that besides Cron?
Well, that was Baker Tilly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I had Ron,
I would rather Cron do.
yeah, he looked into Baker Tilly's study a little bit for me and talked it over with me. He said that we could implement something from what they said. I mean, you're talking 26, 38, or I think 38%, up to 38% and some of that, which seems a little high for what we need. And I feel like with Cron, it would just be more of like what fits our needs and that, 5-year plan of, getting meters out, maybe doing a few main replacements, maybe, smaller scale to get us where we need to go.
I would rather work with Cron. He's been working out with us for.
40 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
all 24 years I've been here.
I like policies.
I just thought I'd bring it up and maybe plan for this in 26 and
I think you
budget for
should.
it. And
I think you
try to
should,
get stuff ready for the end of 26 or 27, beginning of
Yeah.
27.
and I think factoring in, a building, how do we work that in along with, we're gonna have to, once that bond's paid off, we're gonna have to do something with another tower. And I mean, there's just a lot, but I mean, gosh, we got so much of that old pipe through here.
Yeah, AC main, there's some some cast iron main that's failing in some areas that need replaced, so.
We need to,
So like Benchmark is one of them, Nableton Road is really bad right now. Those are probably in that 5-year plan is those two areas. So, and then with that being said, you know, like in 2027, look at maybe doing a good 20-year asset management plan and having that in place. I do know, going to the classes, they said the asset management plan is now going to be, basically a questionnaire online. You submit like basic data about your utility, and that'll get you a couple of years before you really need a plan in place to submit to the state.
Yeah, when we're required to do it,
Yeah.
I am now, so I mean,
Yeah, we're required to do it, so I think submitting that questionnaire gets us to that next step, but I think in between time, we have a really good asset management plan in place that involves, you know, painting the tank, you know, maintaining the trucks we have, just different stuff like that, and even main replacement too, so.
What's left on that, the old hydraulic study that we had done, you know, they kind of broke it down in phases of like the oldest pipe all the way up to the newest. Have we done anything with that as far as like replacement wise?
I do not think so. So, and, did we work with Heritage Engineering on that? Does anybody remember?
About going, right?
I think so. And Galena,
Um,
I did reach out to Heritage and to see if they had some
I don't have to
knowledge.
say Heritage, yeah.
If they've had like, you know, done past studies or hydraulic models with us, and, he said he'll get back with me, next week, see what he can dig up that he's worked on for us.
I might have it.
I've probably got it somewhere too, the
I'm
old.
sure.
Other than that, unless you have questions, that was all I had for water. So sewer, all the materials are in to repair the main air line. It took a little longer on a few materials. Wasn't really expecting it to take this long. So we're gonna try to work on scheduling, but now with the cold draining the tank and possibly, you know, having air lines freeze, and so we might have to be waiting a little longer and just kind of getting by with it leaking.
yeah, cause we've got some cold weather coming up here.
Yeah, and then the, old blowers, the old equipment is out of the main building, so they went in and they did remove the old equipment off the wall and put that paneling off and stuff like that, so that's all cleaned up. And then today, we got in the mail, looks like Ashbury is going to be going up, from $4,500 to $4,850 a month. And this is due to their hourly rate, and then also it's actually their contract that we signed with them.
What's the increase?
Like
$350 a month,
$350 a month. So I just wanted to bring it up, but
6% or something like that.
yeah, I mean,
It's not even that, is it?
so what we
Yeah, I think it is
contracted
4,500.
and signed with them, said I think every year it could go up 3 to 5% or something like that.
Yeah.
I just figured I'd bring it up since we received that in the mail.
Just looking to see if there's anything that we need to sign. I think there is. I mean,
I don't
do
think
you
we're-
have any concerns with the work that they're doing?
I've been, getting Gene to, kind of clean more and just do what I've asked as far as like, upkeep, and he's been learning the new PLC. I think he's even done a class on it. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing for us. And like Gene is good at communicating with me, calls, even if that's not really a problem, he just mentions something that might happen. If it does, it does, but, so he's been really good to work with.
And he called me, this has been back in the summer, and he came by and had me sign something, cause like he was down as like the temporary, operator or whatever, and so
Yeah.
he needed to put something down, so.
So,
Okay.
you know, and, you know, with the sewer plant, I mean, we're looking at, I did get, I don't know if I have it with me, I had it printed off, but I had a blower off that you all asked for last month. I didn't think I was gonna get that. Let me look on my phone. Thought I had printed it off.
We need to vote on this?
I don't think he did. It's good. I think it's gonna be an issue. We need to look at somebody else.
So it looks like the
You're
blower,
already flexing those presidential powers, aren't you?
What's that?
Sign.
Oh, no, that was last year.
Oh, is that last year?
Yeah, or that's the last one.
I just-
That's what I was looking at, I was like, I don't remember saying that. I was like,
I just printed it off just to have this as a reference, cause I did call
Yeah.
Thomas, and he was like, it's in the contract that you signed, and I was like, I'll just use that as a reference, cause
Yeah.
I had overlooked it too in there, so. But for the blowers, it looks like with the blower itself and labor to install the new one would be $19,425.95. And then if we wanted to get the, other blower, sent off, so if we do this even the next couple months, we're looking at like, it's a little over $8,000 to just get it sent off and rebuilt and have a spare.
So we have two blowers now, don't we, or just one?
So we have two main blowers, so you have the actual engine of each one, and then what needs to be replaced and rebuilt is the actual compressor, which that's what compresses the air and sends it into the tank, or into the tanks for treatment
On one or two?
on one. It's starting to lose compression and it's starting to leak oil from an unknown area. We haven't been able to track down where it's leaking.
I feel like you should buy the new one and then rebuild the other one.
So-
I mean, so this is buying a new one?
So,
Why wouldn't we rebuild the old one at 20?
No,
8,000.
it's 8,000 for the,
Oh, that's total.
Yeah, that's
I
total.
got you.
So I did print it off, so, yeah, so that's if we just, rebuild it. But this is the cost, and I think he sent it to me again, and the breakdown, the actual new blower is $17,745.95. Labor's only gonna be $1,600,
that's cheap.
1,680, something like that, yeah. So he did break that down, but the blower is very expensive.
How do you all feel about rebuilding that?
What's the age of that thing? 2004?
5, 6,
Yeah, it's probably 2004 is when it was built.
20 years old and we're gonna rebuild it? I mean, is that worth it? I don't know that much about
I don't
air
know.
compressors.
I think personally, I feel like buying the new is a good option, but I also think a rebuild is pretty close to new, and it wouldn't hurt to have the rebuild for when the other one fails. I mean, the other one's just as old, so we'd have one new, one rebuild, and we just swap out and put the rebuild in there, and we have it ready, and then if we want, we can pay the 8 or 9,000 again to rebuild and have a spare sitting around.
I would like to have the spare sitting, just in case we
That's how I feel.
lost something, big and we needed to hurry up and put something back in. But, I mean, putting a
That's how I
rebuild
feel.
in to count on it to last another 10 to 15 years is probably not ideal.
Right.
But it's always better to, we could cycle a couple of them through and who knows what's going on at the time. I'd rather have
I think
a
we have-
rebuild to stick in there than us trying to run off of one.
Yeah, cause I do believe that we approved, there's one with a new motor, and we also have a rebuild motor sitting to the side in there.
Mhm.
So we have a
Yeah.
rebuild motor, then we'd have a rebuilt compressor waiting,
Yeah,
so.
I come on.
Is there any kind of guidance on when those need to be rebuilt, or is it just like when it goes to failure, then you?
I think when it goes to failure and making sure you keep up with the maintenance is very important. I know when we first did maintenance on the blowers and changed the oil, we're not sure when it was changed last.
And I appreciate you keeping up with all of the maintenance. Making sure that they're staying up on it, because what we said all along when we bought that thing is that we wanted to make sure that all the maintenance was up, so we didn't get hit with some gigantic bill.
And with the cost of the blower, the work we've done this year, the cost is going up with the labor. Is that ever something that could be considered to do a rate study for our sewer?
That would be
I don't,
probably not a
I-
great place for.
no, I think the only time that we would do like a rate increase would be once that comes out of Heritage Springs and the rest of the town would
Isn't
be.
there an ordinance that says that we'll keep it at a certain rate?
Yeah, but it's only for a certain period of time. I think it was like 10 years.
Yeah.
I may be
Then you're-
wrong in the 10-year.
Yeah,
But-
I know that there's something, but I don't. know.
Yeah. So,
It's also an ordinance that said that they were gonna repay the water company for the money that they invested. Never seen that
I
happen.
mean, ultimately, the water company decided that the water company owns. the
yes,
sewer.
utility as a whole.
Yeah.
We, and not today, but we do need to have kind of restart the conversations about what the next steps are for the, sewer going out to the rest of the town, like, you know, I'm sure that's gonna have to be a bond. I just don't know how we get creative enough to even cover the cost while it's being
If
built.
they do
Well-
rate increase.
Just having some experience with it, usually what you do is you get a bond anticipation note to pay for the upfront cost of the engineering, the planning, and then you either pay off the band before you get the bond, or you roll the band into the bond to finish project, once you have the engineer, so that you can pay those upfront costs.
I don't even remember how much is, I mean, we paid probably close to, oh, we paid at least $40,000 for engineering costs and planning, all that stuff that we reviewed.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
So, I mean, we have,
we're ready to roll. We
Yeah,
just need to- Most of the
Already in
land,
place.
most of the land we're utilizing is through the alleys or right of ways that we already owned as well.
And we already got a place to put the plant
So
substation, you know.
you really just need to pay to execute it and do the bond work.
yes,
Essentially,
yeah,
there's some,
we have some,
easement, right, stuff and the NDOT,
yes.
the NDOT stuff.
We've got the NDOT rights and then we've got. the
Ideally, your engineer will
easements.
take care of all that. They
Right.
do.
Then we have the, you know, the easements. The big question is over in Parkland Heights with how that's gonna be handled. And honestly, I think Parkland Heights, it really stinks because Parkland Heights is probably the biggest need. But it's also
The
the most
hardest to do.
complicated,
Yeah, cause the
most,
up and down hills.
yeah. And it's it's gonna be more costly, I think, for the residents too, for everybody.
Is that where each one was supposed to have a pump?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so yeah, you'll have like a pit with the pump and it's how do we do that? And, you know, we have options of the residents paying for it. There's options of us paying for it, maintaining it, or, you know, or it's you can buy it from us and we'll finance it for them, but the residents would maintain it and everything, so it's almost like every home would have a lien on their house for that until it's either paid off or they sell it.
That's actually pretty common. I'm looking at houses, you know, in other states for retirement, and one of the things I find is really odd is that you have bonds for infrastructure on your house that are paid with your property taxes. And here, when a developer develops a subdivision, that's factored into the cost of your house and they pay for the infrastructure, but it's not that way everywhere. Really odd.
So yeah, I know I'm be interested in hearing some just options there, so. All right, what else?
I think that's it. I'd say we get through 2026 with the rest of the maintenance or and what we decide on, you know, the blower and stuff. And I think after that, we should be ready for.
Did anybody make a motion on buying a new compressor or rebuilding the old one or anything?
I'll make a motion to approve the, 20, well, let's say, up to 29,000
For both?
for both. Rebuild and new.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Thank you.
Yes.
I think that's all I have.
Spend some more money.
Thanks, sir. Crystal, what do you have?
Stay in that grit, you're not supposed to be spending money.
Right.
Nothing?
I have the bond that I think they gave me in October or November meeting about the right of way, and Crystal was asking, I guess Haley was asking where they file it. I had a conversation with Nick Creevy and his question is, do we even need that? And I said, that's my question. So the county came back and said, they don't see any reason why we still need to have a bond on the right of way. We're not doing any work for it. So if you guys are okay with it, we really have to write the word cancel on the bond and send it back. I was gonna make sure you guys were okay with that and then give it to Crystal to write cancel on it and send it back. The right of way,
For construction,
for construction
cut
that we
roads
did.
and such.
Oh, yeah.
Back behind the school or something, right? Is that way?
It's
It
5
doesn't-
years old.
Yeah, I mean, it just says right of way. It doesn't really, for $6,500 and it doesn't even say where it's at or anything. And he, you know, Nick looked at it and was like, we don't even have a right of way. You're not building anything in a right of way, so I don't know why you would need a bond.
They did the same thing to Palmar.
Yeah. I've been paying on the bond for for a bond for a right of way we haven't been working in for 5 years, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you gonna give it back to Crystal to cancel it?
Yep.
Alright. Or cancel on it, send it back to them people.
So if we're gonna do, a rate study, I know last time it seemed like Baker Tilly got hung up with our, you know, our, obviously our operating expenses versus what we're bringing in, but in in that factor is the bond that we're currently paying for the water tower, which is almost matured. So would it be beneficial if we just paid the remaining principal, canceled that thing out so that when the accountant comes in and study, we get an accurate assessment of what we're actually bringing in versus what our actual operating expenses are minus the bond. And so then he can say, well, you need to do these capital improvements, let's bond it all and get it done. He can
Yeah.
factor that into the new rate. Otherwise, we're gonna be factoring this old bond that's getting ready to
Yeah.
expire into a new rate increase,
True.
you know, it's just a thought.
How much we owe on that?
I think it matures in 27 or 28.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
You don't have to look it up now.
I've got the paperwork somewhere.
I think it's worthwhile though to look at.
We built it in 2012. It's 15 years, so probably pays off next year.
Sounds about what Baker Tilly told us.
Or it might have been a 20-year. Might not pay off to 2032.
I don't know.
2032. So we got 6 more years to go on it.
I thought it was earlier.
Pretty sure it was a 20-year.
Let's just confirm it so we can
Yeah.
consider it or not.
If it's 20-year, then we just go and vote a rate off of it and, you know, with it.
Yeah,
But if it's not, it's a 15-year, then
about done, it's paid off and get a great study.
all right, what else? Marcia? Make a motion, to close meeting.
Second.
All in favor side?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?